It appears hostage negotiations have stalled after Israel rejected a Hamas demand to permanently stop the fighting. In response, Hamas announced yesterday it would not resume negotiations unless its request is met. Now, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is reiterating his vow to destroy Hamas, saying Israel is fighting until victory. Meanwhile, a senior Israeli official says while there are currently no hostage negotiations, there is progress in talks potentially restarting. Israeli officials have been meeting with the leaders of Qatar, who have been mediating the discussion with Hamas. Joining us now, spokesperson for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office, Tal Heinrich. Tal, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Let's quickly talk about these efforts to renew the hostage talks. Where do things currently stand?
Thank you, Sam, for having me on this morning. You see, we will continue to pursue every possible avenue to bring about the release of our hostages and to also eliminate the Hamas terrorist regime. We have defined two goals for this war that Hamas has dragged us into when they launched it on us with the October 7th massacre. One is that Hamas will no longer be in control of the Gaza Strip. And second, that all hostages will come back home. We will leave nobody behind. And we're proud to be part of this nation that is very, very committed to this concept. Now, as you see, these two goals, they go hand in hand. They're not contradictory. The only reason as for why we have seen the release of some of the hostages by Hamas so far, as per the outline that was agreed upon back in November, was because we have exerted, and we continue to exert, very heavy military pressure on Hamas. We're hitting them hard. We're killing thousands of terrorists. We're dealing with their massive terror infrastructure, eliminating that too. So they wanted a breather last time, and that's what created the condition for an agreement, the one that Hamas broke on December 1st, when they failed to deliver another group of hostages to be released and also started firing at our forces.
Tal, I think it's fair to say that international opinion and some domestic U.S. opinion has been quite critical of Israeli operations. Now, the White House itself has become more open about the desire to see Israel scale back its military operation in order to save civilian lives. We now have reports from inside Gaza of some 20,000 people killed overall during the campaign. What is your government's response to international opinion, to those White House calls for more civilian lives to be saved, and to the reports of the 20,000 death toll being hit?
So, Sam, a few things to unpack here. You're asking me about the PR war. First, you have to remember that we're not fighting this war to get more likes on social media or better handshakes at the UN corridors. We're fighting an existential genocidal threat called Hamas. The same terrorists who committed the October 7th massacre, who burned entire families alive, who raped Israeli women, who mutilated Israelis and killed 1,200 Israelis and are still holding 129 of our people hostage. So, yes, there is international pressure. But first, we're not going to commit a public suicide because of international pressure. We are acting out of self-defense, and we're seeking accountability here. Our nation took this decision that we will no longer live next to this terror enclave controlled by Hamas. Now, of course, as we operate on the ground, we are doing everything possible to ease the civilian suffering in Gaza, and we don't want to see any civilian casualty in Gaza. In every war since the dawn of history, even the most justified wars, there are civilian casualties, but these are all Hamas is doing.
Tal, I just want to jump back at that question. The administration, the Biden administration, has been more open about its desire to see Israel be more strategic and surgical and spare civilian lives in its operations. Does the Netanyahu government continue to have solid relations with the Biden administration? Do they feel like there's being more pressure put on them by the Biden administration to be more cognizant of those civilian casualties?
Well, sour is not a word that applies here. You know, Secretary Lloyd Austin was just here a few days ago, and he reiterated that the U.S. support to Israel's effort here is unshakable. And Secretary Blinken just spoke a few days ago, and also said things in that nature. We are in lockstep with Washington. Jerusalem and Washington see eye to eye about what in what pertains to the goals of this war. We all want to see Hamas gone. We all want to see the hostages back. And we all want to see the minimal civilian suffering and civilian casualties in Gaza. Now, we want to be able to do a better job. And we are doing unprecedented efforts that no other Western military, no other military has ever done in urban warfare. We are announcing ahead of time exactly where and when our troops are going to operate, and warning the civilians, asking them to evacuate to safer zones that we have designated. We have secured humanitarian corridors. There's no kind of, limit on humanitarian aid in terms of food and water entering the Gaza Strip. So the efforts that the IDF is taking here are really unprecedented. If you compare us to perfect, it all depends what's the benchmark here, right? If you compare Israel to perfection, then, well, it's a different conversation. But if you compare Israel to Western military campaigns, to the Battle of Mosul, Afghanistan, Iraq, such campaigns, well, the civilian to combatant casualty ratio in that war, I think it speaks for itself. We're doing a much better job.
All right. Spokesperson for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office, Tal Heinrich, thank you very much. Really appreciate you joining us.